package, a quantum government calls on Small and Medium-Scale Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria to enhance citizens' access to funds and skills acquisition. Atayo Toro Road in Otorobak to get state government's attention. Ongoing special investigation panel on oil spill and environmental development sitting in Uyo urges litigants to avoid technicalities. Details of these and more in a moment. Very beautiful morning to you. Welcome to Chips 5 AM News. I am Agnes Udo King Brown. The Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, has assured the people of Otorobak in a back local government area that the state government has plans for the construction of Atayo Toro Road. He gave assurance at a Thanksgiving service held in his honor at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church, Otorobak. Patience John reports that Mr. Ekpo was accompanied by friends, well-wishers, and family members.
The Deputy Governor, who acknowledged God's love in his life and that of his family, reminded Christians to thank God always. Mr. Ekpo said it was a thing of joy to worship at Otoro, where he is a grandson, and asked them to join him and celebrate the grace of God in his life. On the condition of Atayo Toro Road, the Deputy Governor assured that the state government has taken steps to rehabilitate the road. The officiating priest and dean of the Abagdinary of the Catholic Church, Reverend Father Peter Tomberry, urged Christians to remain steadfast and faithful to God despite the difficulties they are going through.
It's not my portion. Whose portion is it?
Various gifts by the Afen Kuku Atayo Toro clan, led by Nseyen and Naka, were presented to the Deputy Governor, while the title of Eminent Atayo Toro was also conferred on him. The Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, also appreciated the women present with wrapper and cash gifts. Patience John reporting.
The wife of the state governor, Mrs. Martha Odumi-Manuel, has called on the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, SMEDAN, to initiate programs that will impact positively on the populace. The governor's wife made a call when she received a delegation of the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria, led by the state manager, Ms. Lucy Ekweyon, in her office. The report is here presented.
Mrs. Martha Odumi-Manuel said the impact of the agency's programs have not been felt by the public, calling on them to come up with modalities that will enable the people to benefit from their intervention efforts. While noting that many programs were carried out at the federal level, but that states have not been well covered, she urged them to bring more development empowerment through access to funds and skills acquisition geared towards impacting the lives of the populace. Ms. Emmanuel also advised that people who were already learning skills and traits be accommodated in SMEDAN's training programs. The state manager of the agency, Mrs. Lucy Ekweyon, said that SMEDAN was established by the federal government under the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment in 2013 to promote establishment of efficient micro, small and medium enterprises sector that will enhance sustainable economic growth in Nigeria. She asserted that SMEDAN's passion dovetails with the aims of FAIREP and listed the establishment of Women Enterprise Development Fund, entrepreneurship training for beneficiaries of FAIREP's empowerment program, implementation of mobile business clinic in rural communities for the benefit of women and youths who are into businesses, sponsorship of the Global Entrepreneurship Week Secondary School Entrepreneurship Program, coming up in November 2016 as areas our agency could collaborate with FAIREP.
The Commissioner for Transport, Dr. Godwin Tugude, has ordered the immediate demolition of illegal structures and removal of containers at a long-distance park. Dr. Tugude gave the order when he paid an unscheduled visit to parks. Yana Paul completes the story.
Dr. Godwin Tugude, on arrival at the Tam Long Distance Park, discovered that illegal structures and containers have been erected inside the park. Dr. Tugude also capited the Park Management Committee for authorizing the defacement without consulting the government. The commissioner who ordered the removal of the unauthorized structures and containers cautioned the estate management consultant retained by the government to oversee the working of the long-distance park for collaborating with members of the Park Management Committee to litter the space. The commissioner emphasized that the safety of drivers, commuters, and others carrying out various activities in the park is at risk because of the hazardous materials, especially the zinc used in the construction of the structures.
That this is the property of the government of Akwa Ibom State. Any illegal structure in this place that was not part of the master plan must be out of this place and must not be allowed, because I don't want to, on account of you, take a bad name again in this Akwa Ibom State. Enough. They have shouted me enough. They have called me all sorts of names, accused me of so many things I don't know. Let it stop now.
Dr. Tugude also ordered the refunds of the monies paid by those who erected the illegal structures, warning that failure to comply with the directives will put the Central Park Management Committee on a warpath with government, adding that he will not fail to sanction the committee workers. Dr. Tugude also stopped over at the former AKTC terminus, Ikodekwene Road, where the biometric capturing of tricycle operators is ongoing. The commissioner stressed that the ministry has a stipulated amount for renewal of roadworthiness, new registration for tricycles, taxis, and minibuses, warning the consultant against extorting money from drivers or tricycle operators.
Don't compromise, don't overcharge, and don't charge more than required. But the MOT on Keke, fresh registration, 3,300. 6,000 for MOT on taxi. For minibus is 7,000.
He advised the public that when they are approached by members of the task force to pay fine, they should demand to be taken to the former AKTC terminus where the task force operates from before parting with money. Dr. Tugude stressed that by doing so, the drivers will be able to identify those who, according to him, are illegal or genuine. Yana Paul reporting.
We'll be back after the break. Stay with us.
Rise to the faith of greatness. Rise to the faith that with God all things are possible. Rise to the faith that as a people we can move beyond biases, ethnicity, religion, and gender. Rise to togetherness. Rise to chart a new course for us, our children, and a generation of Akwa Ibomites unborn. Hold fast the confession of our hope that without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. Arise to the faith that Akwa Ibom was created to be great.
I arise to the faith that Akwa Ibom is destined to be great.
I am an Akwa Ibomite.
And I arise to the faith of greatness.
Metakanda, Akwa Ibomites, Dakada.
Akwa Ibom, Dakada.
You're welcome back. 2 cases concerning Akwa Ibom yesterday came up for hearing at the Federal High Court VU on the ongoing Special Investigation Panel on oil spill and environmental degradation organized by Human Rights Commission. The Where Ibedu Fadama Farmers Community Association, Ikoresen, in Saratai local government area, against Shell Petroleum Development Company and the Lawyers Caucus Community, as well as some communities within Bielsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom, Delta State, against Mobile Producer Nigerian Limited. The case of Ibedu Fadama Farmers Community Association against Shell Petroleum Development Company was stood down to enable the council file complete papers. Also, the Lawyers Caucus community and some communities within Bayelsa, Rivers, Akwa Ibom and Delta States case was also adjourned to the next sitting. Speaking on behalf of the panel, a member of the panel appealed to the councils representing the litigants to avoid unnecessary technicalities in presenting their cases to enable the panel to discharge its duties effectively. He said the panel is interested in giving a fair hearing to cases brought before it and also ensure that peace and justice remain, while urging the councils to support the panel to avoid delays and unnecessary adjournments. The 5-man panel, the investigation panel, is headed by Mrs. Uti Uvroa. A non-governmental women group known as Reach Out and Smile has called on the public to assist in providing succor to the less privileged in the society. Members of the group made the call when they visited the Mother Child's Walker Orphanage in this area. Patience John completes the story.
The women who arrived to the home with gifts for the inmates of the orphanage were received by the sister in charge, Reverend Sister Matilda Young, and the children. Mrs. Juliet Ellen, who represented the national president of the initiative, said the mission was to put smiles on the faces of the vulnerable in the society, especially orphans, the elderly, and widows. She thanked God for the wisdom and vision of the national president, Mrs. Ukeme Utuk, for assembling women in all the states of the Federation for the purpose of caring for others.
They have come to reach out to them, to put smiles in their face, to give to them what their mother has also given to them.
Giving an insight to the programs of the Reach Out and Smile initiative in the state, the state coordinator, Victoria Titus, and the state welfare officer, Lady Mo Akman, explained that the organization was founded a few months ago in the state for women who have passion to serve and assist those in need.
So speak for those who cannot talk for themselves. That is why we are here. That is why we have to reach out and smile. Because when we reach out to the poor, when we reach out to the needy, they will smile.
The Reverend Sister Matilda Young thanked the women for the gesture and called for assistance to enable the home take care of orphans and the needy.
Most of these children are motherless. They lost their mother at birth, and they brought them from the hospital here in Anu. Some they bring from the villages. That is women that goes to local birth attendants, and their mothers will die, so they will bring them here.
Items including clothing, toiletries, various food items, and cash were donated to the children.
With this report, you will agree with me that assisting the poor, the needy, and the less privileged, even the orphans, is everybody's business. Patience Joe reporting.
The Permanent Secretary, Minister of Youth and Sports, Eldan Sedem, has charged fathers to always commit to the endeavors to God in order to succeed in living up to the expectation of their families. He gave the charge at the Fathers' Week of Metropolitan Ames Zion Church, 7 and 9 in Bayview. The report is here presented.
Elder Edem, who is also the patron of Exalted Family of the Men's Fellowship of the Church, stressed the need for men to possess a deep knowledge of the ways of the Lord and remain steadfast in their relationship with God in order to excel in their chosen fields of endeavor. The Father's Week, which began last Wednesday with lectures and other programs, ended on Sunday. different families of the men's fellowship came out en masse in varying colors to sing and dance to the glory of God. Bible quiz and Bible drill competitions were some of the activities which added color and class to the event. Addressing newsmen, the presiding pastor of the church, Reverend Felix Inyang, said that the event was organized to celebrate man's biological and spiritual fathers and express delight at the successful hosting of the event. The chairman planning committee, David Eti, said that all that fathers require to succeed in life is contained in the Bible and called on fathers to hold fast to the word of God at all times.
This week is set aside to celebrate God, who is our number one father, and also to celebrate our fathers, our biological fathers, our spiritual fathers, our academic fathers, and any other man that is a father figure for us. They need to go close to the word of God. God told Joshua, take this book of the law, if you go to the book of the law, which is the Bible, all the responsibilities of a father are extended.
President Muhammadu Buhari appoints Ibrahim Idris as Acting Inspector General of Police. Senate President Bukola Saraki again asked Code of Conduct Tribunal Chairman to withdraw from his case. United States Senate fails to pass gun control laws. These and other stories in a National Foreign News segment with Mercy Pikera.
President Muhammadu Buhari has appointed Mr. Ibrahim Idris, an Assistant Inspector General of Police, as the new Acting Inspector General of Police. Mr. Idris's appointment comes on the heels of the retirement of Mr. Solomon Arase, who has clocked 60 years, the compulsory retirement age. Mr. Ibrahim Idris, who is from Niger State, was the AIG in charge of operations at the Force Headquarters, Abuja. The trial of Senate President Dr. Bukola Saraki has resumed at the Code of Conduct Tribunal, CCT. Dr. Saraki's counsel argued that the chairman of the CCT, Mr. Danladi Umar, should withdraw from the case due to his case with the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, and also citing bias on the part of the chairman. Dr. Saraki had been charged with 13 counts of false declarations of assets while he was the governor of Kwara State and has been undergoing trial since September 2015. The Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, EFCC, has said it has the right to freeze any suspicious account, including that of state governors, but only on the orders of a court. The EFCC says immunity enjoyed by any serving governor does not prevent the Commission from investigating suspicious movement of money into and out of a suspect's account. The Commission stated its position after freezing the personal accounts of Ekiti State Governor Mr. Ayodele Fayose. Under the Federal Constitution, governors and presidents do not have immunity on investigation, and while they can be investigated while in office, they cannot be prosecuted. The Republican-controlled United States Senate has rejected the 4 proposals to tighten gun controls, including the restriction of weapons sales to people on terrorism watch lists. This comes after last week's massacre at Pulse, an Orlando gay nightclub, by Omar Martin that left 49 people dead and 53 wounded. This intensified pressure on the U.S. lawmakers who moved to take the issue to the floors of the Senate. Republicans and their allies, members of the National Rifle Association in the gun control lobby, said the Democrats' bills were too restrictive and trampled on the constitutional right to bear arms. In the U.S., gun dealers are licensed by the federal government. People can be prevented from buying weapons if they have mental health problems or are guilty of serious crimes, but there is no specific prohibition for those on the terrorism watch list, and there are currently about 1 million people on that list. The International Olympic Committee, IOC, has said competitors from Russia and Kenya must have extra checks before they can take part in Rio 2016. The IOC said the innocence of athletes from the two countries was questionable. The International Association of Athletics Federation had upheld a ban on Russian track and field athletes for participating in Rio 2016 because of accusations of state-sponsored doping in the country. However, the International Olympic Committee resolution at its recent meeting clears the way for Russian athletes deemed clean to compete in the 2016 Olympics.
Thank you, Mercy. A reminder, you can also watch AKBC TV News online by logging on to akbconline.org. Or follow us on Twitter at AKBC45U or on Facebook at AKBC Channel 45 before we go look at the major stories. The Deputy Governor, Mr. Moses Ekpo, has assured the people of Otoro in a back local government area that the state government has plans for the construction of the Atai-Otoro Road. He gave assurance at the Thanksgiving service in his honor at the Holy Trinity Catholic Church at Atai-Otoro. The wife of the state governor, Mrs. Martha Doni-Manuel, has called on the Small and Medium Enterprises Development Agency of Nigeria to initiate programs that will impact positively on the populace. Mrs. Manuel made a call when she received Smeden delegation led by the state manager, Ms. Lucy Ekpeyong, in her office. That is in our package. Thanks for watching. Have a wonderful, beautiful Wednesday.